Okay, hey everybody, this is Alex here, giving you an attempted track guide for GT Sport. I don't know what I'm doing, you don't know what you're doing. Let's jump in and have a look at things. There's a really cool race on GT Sport Daily Races, so I thought it's worth checking out. It's with the Group 2 car, which is based, well, it's a real life Super GT car. The GT 500 cars, which are really quick. They're basically the fastest production-based cars in the world. They have a lot of horsepower, a lot of grip, a lot of aero, so they're good fun to drive. So here we are, Daily Race C, which is at Autopolis International Circuit, which is Japanese, real life circuit. If you've never heard of it, neither have I. Nobody has. But there it is, it's a real track and it's actually really cool. So let's jump in and see what it's all about. So here's my time, a 1:35.2, which is within the top 10 of the region at the time of recording it, just yesterday. So we'll see if that changes, but usually I aim to be less than half a second off the top 10. Worldwide. If I can do that, I'm pretty happy. So I think this is in with a good shot. So anyway, let's go have a look at the lap. Okay, so lot to cover. So this circuit is it's, like I said, it's pretty cool. It's got some low speed and mid speed corners. But in this car, I tell you what, some of the mid-speed corners, they just feel super fast because the car's got so much grip with the aero and the tyres and the power that you're just flying around these corners. So it's awesome. It's actually, I really like this track. Another characteristic is that because of the elevation, there are quite a few corners where you're braking downhill or uphill or coming out of through a series of corners, and you've kind of got a change in gradient. So you've really got to manage your throttle with this car. It's particularly coming out of the slow speed corners. Here's one that's going to bug you for your whole life. Oh, you try getting 800 horsepower at the wheels down to the ground as in first gear coming out of that corner when the road is off camber and falling away from you. Good luck. So it's really rewarding when you get a clean lap. And as you can see here, the second half, a lot of these corners run into each other. So you need to set up corners in a sequence, which again, frustrating because if you screw one up, you've kind of screwed up the rest of them. So getting a super good lap around here is not an easy thing, particularly here. This is the last corner just there, and it's a long right-hander and it can screw up a fantastic lap and also then screw up the start to your next lap here because you have this huge long straight after it. So if you get it wrong out of the last turn, you're just losing tenths of a second down to turn 1 here. So you really want to get turn 1 and turn 2 spot on, and then the rest will hopefully come to you. So let's have a look inside the car. A number of corners you really just need to throw the car in and let it roll around, and you're just feathering that throttle as you come out. Here's another one of the slowest ones on the whole circuit. It is first gear. You can't get away with second gear here. I mean, you can, but you're losing time. So you may as well stay in first gear and feather that throttle as best you can to get the power down. The straighter the car can be as you're opening full throttle, the better. Like I say, these are really powerful cars. This corner over the top is super tricky, but as I say, rewarding when you get right. Here's one of my favorite corners. You're downhill, you just want to dab the brakes, let the car roll in, and then back on the throttle as soon as you can. Again, letting it roll around the inside here, setting up the next sequence of corners, slowing the car right down, and setting yourself up for the right, left, right. As you can see, again, elevation going up, going down, mid-corner sometimes, so it's really tricky. And here, the god-awful last corner that's going to ruin your whole lap every time. There it is. So let's stick some telemetry on stick the camera on top of the car and have another look at the lap and some braking markers. So, starting with the entry to the last corner, which I'm basically saying is the start of your lap, because if you get this wrong, you get the start of your lap wrong. Let it roll in, and then on the power as soon as you can. These cars do have a lot of grip, so generally coming out of these corners, as you're learning this, once you get the smoothness right, I'd really start pushing on the throttle as soon as you can. Braking at the 100-meter mark, second gear to get a little bit of rotation, and then back on the throttle as soon as you can. Here you want to brake just after the orange marker on the left. Again, rolling through and squeezing on the throttle. Through this sequence, you just want to feather, feather, feather. And then hard on the brakes. This is a super tricky corner here. Pulling the inside and then squeezing on first gear. So again, as soon as you can though, full throttle. Rolling in again, another corner you're rolling in and rolling out. Here you want to be braking at the second ward on your right. If you go too late, you're going to go wide. Get as close to the inside as you can, and as soon as you're starting to straighten up, get on the throttle. Here, just after the orange board, you want to be thinking about dabbing the brakes, letting it roll in, and then back on the throttle as soon as you can. Hold the inside as best you can. I didn't quite get the inside curb, which didn't help with my rotation, but it wasn't too bad in the end. And then here, this is all about feathering the throttle through here as best you can, touching each curb to help with the rotation, and then into the last corner, again, touching that inside curb really helps to pull the car around a bit, and then off you go to the finish. It's a little quirk of Gran Turismo that, for the most part, if you get a couple of wheels on the curbs, it actually helps you to pull the car around. It's not realistic, but it is what it is, so you need to take that to your advantage and remember that. Touching the curbs can really help get a little bit of extra rotation, so use that to your advantage. Too much though, and it will naturally want to throw the car off a little bit, throw your car out of balance. So you really just want to be getting a couple of wheels on there to help your rotation. So I hope that's helped you guys out a little bit. Like I say, it's a pretty cool car and track combo. It's pretty difficult at first, you're going to be frustrated, but as you get used to it, give it half an hour or something, and you're going to realize just how cool this car and track combo is, and how awesome this car sounds as well. It's really awesome. It's the Nissan, no, it's the Honda. So go find yourself a Honda Group 2 car and give it a shot. And good luck, and see if you can get a 135.2. And if you can, let me know, and I'll try and beat you. Cheers, bye.